Hello. Hi there. My name is Ayelet Connell, and I'm a gluten-free and paleo chef, and this is an episode of Simply Paleo with me. Today we're going to be making an orange cranberry sauce, which is such a deliciously sweet and tart side dish that you can use really throughout the year if you can find cranberries. But for now, this is a holiday season, and it's such a great festive accompaniment to any sort of dinner meal, whether you're having some type of protein like turkey or something of that nature, or a vegetarian meal. It's a really wonderful complement. So it's a very simple recipe, and I love how robust it is, not just in flavor, but in color also. You have that beautiful, beautiful, rich red color of the cranberries. So let's get going. So what we're going to do is start off with a bag of cranberries. Now this recipe is a very forgiving recipe, so it doesn't matter so much the size of the bag, but this particular bag is a 12-ounce bag, so it's a little under a pound. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a saucepan, make space for it, and we're going to open up this bag of cranberries and put it right into the saucepan and pour it in. Okay? And then we need to get some liquid in there. And there's definitely a lot of different recipes for cranberry sauce, but in this particular one, I love to put in oranges, and particularly fresh orange juice. So what we're going to do, we've got 2 oranges. These are just navel oranges, which I like because they're pretty juicy, but it really doesn't matter so much. The sweeter the orange flavor profile, the sweeter the cranberry sauce. So we're going to take some peel of this orange and put it in here, about a 3 to 4 inch piece, so it doesn't matter so much. I'm just using a regular peeler. And getting a nice long strip of orange peel, and I'm going to put it in here with the cranberries. And then I'm going to get the juice of the cranberries. So I'm going to take the orange and I'm going to slice them in half, and I'm going to squeeze them into the pot. You got to make sure there's no seeds that are falling in. These particular oranges are seedless. But of course, there's lots of different types of oranges, and you don't always know if they have seeds or not. So just keep an eye out, because that would be an odd thing to crunch on when you're having cranberry sauce with your dinner. And you're just going to squeeze all of them in. And then after that, we're going to add some seasoning. We're going to put a pinch of salt in, because a little bit of salt makes everything sweeter. And that's the case in just about anything that you're making. And the reason, I think, is just because the salt brings out flavor. It just helps to create more of a robust flavor for whatever you're making. Now, I like to use sea salt because sea salt carries a lot of wonderful minerals, but it doesn't have a huge excess of sodium to it. So for people that are trying to reduce their sodium levels, then sea salt is a really healthy alternative. And then, of course, it helps to build minerals and electrolytes in your body. So we tend to put sea salt with everything. We really don't have any other types of salt in our house. There are some people that have thyroid issues, and they have low thyroid, and they have low levels of iodine, and oftentimes their medical practitioner will recommend getting iodized salt. But if you're wanting to not do that, there's also different forms of supplementation of iodine as well that your health practitioner can help you with. So we squeeze the juice of 2 whole oranges in, and of course we've got the peel in here. We're also going to put a cinnamon stick in, 1 whole cinnamon stick. Nice smell. And then we're going to put a pinch of salt, as I said, and it's sea salt that we're choosing. And then we're going to do a ½ teaspoon of allspice. Now there's lots of different ways to season this, but this is one of my favorite ways, because it has a really nice, tangy, little bit robust flavoring. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to put it on the burner, and we're going to light it and put it on medium to high, and we're going to mix in all the different parts. And there's really only one more ingredient we want to put in, but we're going to wait till the end, and that's the maple syrup, so that we can get it to be sweet enough so that it's not overpoweringly tart, as cranberries oftentimes can be. And then what we're going to do is we're going to let it come up to a boil, And then as it starts to boil, you're going to hear the cranberries popping. Because when you look at them and you feel them, you see here, this is a raw cranberry. It's very hard. And you can dent it a little bit, but it's pretty hard. And then once it gets contacted with the heat, then the cranberries start to pop and they get nice and soft. And so we want to get them to pop, and then what happens is the flavors start to come together, the cranberry sauce starts to thicken, and then you can use a lot of different ways to mash it up. You can use just the back end of your spoon and push on them to really get all of them to get incorporated and smushed, or you could use a potato masher, which I like to use, where I'll literally go through and just mash up the different cranberries that are still not smushed. And then when it's done and it's starting to thicken and starting to stick to the bottom of the pot, then you can put in a 1/4 cup of maple syrup. So we're going to get ready for that. And we're going to get a 1/4 cup. Now some people like it to be sweeter, so then you can put 1/3 of a cup or even 1/2 cup of maple syrup. But it depends on how sweet you want it to be. And I can hear them starting to pop. Now this will take 20 minutes or so to cook. And then what you can do when it's done is you can put the whole thing in a container in the refrigerator. And if you have the opportunity to make this the day before, then it can sit in the fridge and just the flavors can meld and you can get an even more delicious cranberry sauce for the next day. But it's also really quick to make, so if you're running out of time and you just have to make it real quickly, that's fine as well. And before you serve it, you can remove the cinnamon stick. And by then, the orange peel will be really soft and mushy and probably well incorporated, but if you do see it still in there, you can take it out at that point. Okay, so we're gonna let that cook, but I did make some cranberry sauce yesterday that I wanna bring out and show you what it looks like while these are popping and doing their thing. So you can see here, it's beautifully rich in color. And I removed the cinnamon stick. And we're going to taste test it in just a minute here. These are starting to pop. And you can see, if I pull one of these out, let's see if you can see it on the screen. You can see that there's little crack marks on the cranberries. And so what will happen is that's how it starts, and then they're just going to get super, super smushy. And then you're just going to help them get even smushier. All right. So right now there's still quite a bit of liquid in there from the orange juice that we freshly squeezed. So we need to wait till all of that starts to get reduced and the cranberry sauce looks like cranberry sauce and starts to stick to the bottom of the saucepan. And at that point, you know that you can add in the maple syrup and stir it in and it'll be ready. So let's do a taste test here. It's so wonderful, the flavors. You have that robust tartness of the cranberries and the sweetness from the orange juice and a little bit of the tartness from the orange peel and the sweetness from the maple syrup. It is so delicious. So I highly recommend this. My family loves to have this as leftovers. I try to make a little extra when we make it so then they have a little bit with everything else they eat for the next few days, whether it's random breakfast items or dinner or lunch leftovers. They put a little bit of dollop of cranberry sauce on it. So this is boiling so beautifully. And so it's starting to really get soft. And so this is when I take the potato masher just to get it going a little bit faster. And I start the process. And you can see on the potato masher that it's just mashing all of these little cranberries. You can see the flesh of the inside of them. And so it also helps to get some of the orange peel incorporated into it. And it's nice and mixed. So you can see here how it looks. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to take the potato masher out and I'm going to put in the maple syrup because it's starting to stick to the bottom. The cranberry sauce. So I'm going to put this in the sink. And then I'm going to mix in the maple syrup. until it's incorporated. And I can lower the heat a little bit, and I can also put a top on and just let it cook a little further. I just want to make sure that I keep an eye on it. So that is the recipe for orange cranberry sauce. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a very simple recipe. There's not a lot of ingredients, which is somewhat unusual when you're doing paleo and gluten-free. So I hope you give it a try in your own kitchen. And as always, I'd love to hear from you. So please send me your thoughts, your ideas, your cravings, things you'd love to learn how to make, and we'll dedicate an episode of Simply Paleo to it. And don't forget to visit my blog at www.simplypaleo.com, and there's some wonderful cooking demonstration videos and recipes that are interspersed throughout it. So take care and have a happy holiday, and I hope to have you join me again soon.